Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Psycho Gold Videos. I'm Psycho Gold, and today, it looks like you're getting 2 uploads out of me, because after the Deadpool 2 trailer dropped, it appears that we now have another Marvel character vying for control of the spotlight. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a film that I have been anticipating for a very long time is finally here. Well, it's not here, but its trailer's here, and that film is, of course, Venom. For those of you who don't know, Venom is, well, is he still? For a very long time, Venom was my favourite comic book character. I grew up watching a number of different things, but one of the shows that I used to watch religiously was the 90s Spiderman animated series, of which Venom was a recurring character once he was introduced. They did a very good job of bringing most of that to life, even though they had a completely different way of doing it that didn't involve the Secret Wars to begin with, which is ironic because they would later adapt Secret Wars. They just didn't include the black suit. They'd done the black suit a different way, which interestingly is the same way Spider-Man 3 did the black suit. They pretty much brought that animated thing to life, which is just makes it more annoying that they completely messed Venom up and that entire film. But as for this film, this one stars Tom Hardy. Now, I don't actually know whether this is set in the same universe as Spider-Man that we got earlier. There seems to be lots of conflicting reports. Personally, I'd like it if it was, only so that there will be a film where Spider-Man and Venom share the screen, because Venom can't exist without Spider-Man as an origin, and if they're going to try and give him a new origin, I'm still going to be happy that I finally get to see a live-action Venom, but I will be disappointed. I'd much rather they just don't address his origin and leave it open for the possibility that this is set in a different period of time to the current Spider-Man films. But at the same time, I don't see that happening. There is literally no way I can think of for them to satisfy the people who want to see a proper Venom film with his origin story intact, because unless they're not doing Eddie Brock, it has to involve Peter Parker. And even the other Venoms pretty much revolve around their relationship to Peter Parker. Matt Gargan used to be Scorpion, and obviously Flash was one of his bullies, stroke best friend, depending on who writes the issue at the time, at high school. And the other Venoms that have occasionally taken up the suit aren't really worth talking about. But, you know, if this was like a villain's film from Carnage's point of view, you could totally get away with just making it up as you go, because Carnage is nuts. But Venom has a very specific character, and it's basically, you know, he is Spider-Man's poison, he is his venom, and that's all he wants to do. Now, I know that this film is allegedly based on a mix between the Lethal Protector and the Symbiote Invasion comic books, which is fine, but that, you know, I have no problem with Venom as a solo vigilante anti-hero. That's great, I enjoyed all of that. I just think they're making life more difficult than they need to by making this film separate from Spider-Man, if that's what they're going to try and do. But either way, guys, I've talked long enough. I want to actually watch this trailer now. I've paused it on the part where it has the logo, and the logo looks sweet. Just seeing the red outlines on the logo with the smoke stroke tendrils around it immediately is giving me 90s Venom vibe, with the way that they used to do that strange sort of colour shift in tone of his outline. I've never thought that would work in live action as much as I think it looks amazing. If they manage to pull off a look for Venom that I think that is going to trick my brain into thinking that is Venom, I will be ecstatic. So without further ado, and probably, knowing my luck, there won't even be a shot of him as Venom, or maybe it will be like a shadow, but let's find out once and for all, shall we? Ooh. Oh, okay, it's a hospital. Yes, we know, Sony. Currently, you're free of Disney's grasp, unlike Fox, but I'm sure your time will come too.
Everyone's got their thing. Maybe it's a breakup. death, an accident, whatever it is, you used to be one thing. Now, you're something else.
Yeah. Okay, you're drawing me in, but what's going on? Oh, there it is.
We all have our own problems.
The symbiote. Always love the idea of the symbiote, barring the part where it can take over your mind. That was always the problem. Oh.
Demons.
God damn it. Oh, nice. I like it. Oh, so it's just a V now, is it? Ah, we still didn't get to see what he looks like. But we know what his eyes are going to look like. I thought, to be honest, that it was going to be impressive if there was any kind of, you know, shot as Venom, considering didn't the film, like, only properly finish filming a few weeks ago? I don't know how they're going to get it pumped out so quick. So yeah, that trailer left me with more questions than answers, which is what a teaser trailer is supposed to do, so it did its job. I'm curious as to what on earth his voiceover is talking about. There's obviously something going on. The other thing I wonder about is he going to be a reporter, or is he going to be unemployed man down on his luck? Because obviously his origin stories was kind of altered is the wrong word, but when he started having his own solo comics, they sort of expanded it and tried to turn him into this tragic character that it worked, but I felt it was a bit unnecessary. It was interesting, and it looks like that's the direction they've gone here, talking about his loved ones and what's going on, and the fact that it's all lost. And he does look like he's pretty much at the end of his rope in terms of being able to cope with everything. And obviously, in my version of what I remember happening, and the comics as well, the symbiote suit came to him when he was pretty much about to commit suicide. So their very similar thing could be done here if, from the looks of it, it is an origin story, which I'm choosing to not be nitpicky with. I'm just going to go with it. I just want to see Venom on the film. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens as it goes on. But if they could keep in a lot of the components that build up to him becoming Venom, then they could do that beautifully. They could even, if it does share a universe with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, there is ways they could actually shoehorn his hatred of Spider-Man in, but still have him do his own thing, because they could just, play around with the time. Spider-Man is in and out of New York, but if Eddie was a reporter, and if Eddie was, thrown off of this, that, and the other, and he got himself in problems, and he got himself addicted to certain substances, or had issues along those lines, and ended up getting fired, in his brain, he can blame Spider-Man for that, because he blames Spider-Man for pretty much everything, and we all know that he does love his workouts, so, toss in some steroids addiction as well, why not? Just basically, everything you can think of to make this character be a complete and utter mess. Obviously, we know that at some point in the comic books they decided to throw cancer at him as well, just to really make sure that his life was miserable. But I doubt that they'll go that route for this first film, but there isn't any reason why they are not going to hammer in the nail of how rubbish his life is by having, if there's any family that he's got alive, I imagine they'll die. I mean, and his girlfriend stroke wife, depending on what they go with, will probably leave him, or will have recently left him. They'll just make it, just really hammer in the fact that everything in his life is going wrong, and in his brain, even if it makes no real sense if you stop and think about it, that's not the point of Eddie Brock. He's not the sharpest tool in the box, and he needs someone to focus all of his aggression on, and he chose it to be Spider-Man. Which obviously combined nicely with the symbiote being rejected by Spider-Man, and giving him the parting gift of all these human emotions that symbiotes have never had to deal with before, which kind of messed him up. Probably would have been alright had he attached to someone a bit more mentally sound than... a bit more emotionally stable than Eddie. basically, after he got all these emotions, he then bonded to someone who only has the worst parts in the most emotional state you could be in. And funnily enough, what came out the other side was a being of rage, anger, and a lot of pain. But interestingly, no fear. And fear is the path to the dark side, so you think he would have turned out okay. That said, guys, I'm still really interested to see this, to see where we go from here. I hope what we saw was good, and I'm definitely not sat here thinking, no. I was really drawn into that little shot at the end where the veins on his neck started to go black and he started jittering around. I would imagine that that's going to be the beginning of his transformation, but we didn't actually see how, why, what's going on. These are all questions for another trailer, I suspect. And even then it might not reveal it. But either way, dudes, I'm just so happy that this is a real film and not just a fake-made trailer that, you know, I've wanted a Venom film for a very long time. And Tom Hardy is a great person to play Eddie Brock. So take what we can get when it comes to Venom. I will still be going to the cinema to see this one. Yeah. Might actually be more excited for the Venom film than some of the other big films that are coming out this year. It's a very good year for comic book fans. We've got Black Panther, we've got Avengers, we've got Deadpool 2, we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, we've got Venom, and that's just the big mainstream ones, never mind all the other ones, like, you know, if you want to look at independent films, you've got Accident Man, that just came out in America and will be out in the UK in a couple of months, so there's tons of good films at the moment if you like your comic books. Anyway, dudes, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, and that would be amazing. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what your thoughts on this Venom teaser trailer was, or just your thoughts on the Venom character, who your favourite characters are. I love hearing from you guys. You know that, so let me know what you think. All that really remains for me to do is to say that I am Psycho Gold, and I will see you in my next video. Psycho Gold, out.